I watched that 22nd episode.
Hey, y'all that funny. Hey, let me get for a minute. All right. So two, of course, you're gonna have people in the comments. Now with the viewers, they ain't always gonna be accurate because you got people on all kinds of different platforms gonna be watching this. But we're gonna go ahead and start. All right. What's up, man? We appreciate you, everybody, for checking into the G Spot podcast. I hope y'all had a blessed and eventful week. Hey, how you doing, Miss Michelle? First and foremost, I got some new guests in the building with me. How y'all doing? Make sure, like I always tell y'all, make sure y'all drop some positive inspiration in the comments. You never know who need it. You never know who come back and look at these videos and find out. Shout out to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Real Women Radio, first and foremost, 365. If y'all haven't already, make sure y'all download the RWR Live 365 app where y'all can listen to this show and really, really good music all throughout the week. First and foremost, man, I got some new guests on the show tonight. I got Sharita in the building with us today. I got Lisa, and I got Ashley in the building with me again tonight. First, man, we got some entrepreneurs, man. Sharita, I'm gonna let her tell you a little bit about her business.
Well, I do luxury picnics where you do anything intimate with your person. You can hire me to set up that moment, even if you're trying to do anything in your home, hotel rooms, all of the above.
If you know we like hotel rooms.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Tell me where they can find you at.
You can find me at Instagram, Sharitha Itisha, as well as Sharitha Jones, and Sharitha Jones on Facebook is CHARITHA Jones, JONES.
All right, and Lisa, man, tell them, and that with Lisa, man, I actually got one of your flyers. What you do? Tell them what you do.
Yes. Hey y'all, it's your girl Lisa. I am the CEO, creator, and founder of Lisa Pro Egg Rolls, where I do personal catering. My main thing is gourmet egg rolls though, so I have about 30 plus flavors, anywhere from Philly cheesesteak to buffalo cheesecakes, crab cakes, mac and yams, all types of stuff. Y'all can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Lisa Pro Egg Rolls.
All right, and then we got Ashley in the building. Where they can find you at? Don't act shy. She got no little shy.
Ooh.
She might not want to be found.
Oh, you don't want to be found?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Ashley RUA.
Okay. You got a grown folks Twitter or regular people Twitter?
I got a in between Twitter.
Oh, shucks. Look, to the Twitter where it's at. Now, that's all I'm gonna say. Hey, I appreciate y'all for coming in and checking in with us tonight, man. Tell us how y'all week was. First of all, how was y'all week?
Good.
You had all right week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff. Okay. Man, I had a pretty long week. Everybody keep talking about this retrograde. I don't know if y'all heard about the retrogrades. Me personally, this year is the first time I ever heard a damn thing about retrogrades, and I've been doing my spiritual thing for a while. But I can feel it. My energy has been somewhere everywhere during this season, and then too, it's a lot of old things from the past, which I've heard that during this retrograde, a lot of things from back in the past is gonna come up, and stress is gonna be able to test you to see your reaction. Are you gonna react the same? You know, stuff like that. And I've been getting some tests, man. I've been doing pretty good, man. I'd be happy as hell. I'm like, back in the day, I probably reacted this way, but now, you know what I'm saying? I react another way. It's very important as the older we get, we have to realize, man, the value of what we put our energy into and what to take it out of. And because we be playing ourselves a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? We be playing ourselves and we want to point the finger at everybody else, but all we got to do is just say we don't want to deal with this. We ain't got to do this no more. You know what I'm saying? You don't, man. So I appreciate y'all once again for coming in tonight. Tonight, man, we're going to be talking about how y'all feel. And y'all tell us in the comments how y'all feel about your significant other having friends of the opposite sex. Me personally, first of all, I ain't even gonna go first. I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna let the queens in the field. We got 3 queens in the field, so I'm gonna let them go
Yeah.
first.
I already know how I feel.
Okay.
If you would have asked me like 10 years ago if it was cool, I would have said no. Like, not at all.
Mhm.
But as I'm growing and becoming older, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But with any relationship, you have boundaries, you have respect. So if I introduce you as like, okay, this is my network or working buddy or somebody, then there's no reason like we need to be writing each other at 2 in the morning, sharing TikToks, memes, like we need to be talking about business, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now that I'm older, like, and then I realized with my other friend groups that some of them went to like college and were in like, sororities, frats, like all different types of stuff. So it's there's exceptions to every rule,
Mhm.
So I'm not, and now that I'm an adult, I'm not like fully against it, but with everything, every relationship, there's always like those fine lines, like boundaries and stuff.
Right. What about you? How you feel?
Um, I would say, I feel like as long as y'all were friends before me, you got together, then it's not much I can really, as long as you keep it cordial, respectful,
Mm-hmm.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Other than that,
You cool with it?
I guess.
Okay. What about you?
Well, I agree with them. I feel like you can, as long as you have not been with that person.
Agreed.
So if you've been with that person, I don't think y'all can be friends like that. Y'all can
Yeah.
be friends, but y'all can't be just friends that
Yeah.
ain't trying to get together.
Right.
So I'm okay with it, and then I'm in another space in my life that, you can have a friend. I feel like you can have a
Yeah, it
friend.
don't bother you the same anymore.
Yeah, but you have to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no friend. Some friends will call you at 2 in the morning, but it just depends on what they call you about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's all the time, that's a
Yeah.
problem.
You
Yeah.
start to notice the pain.
And if I don't know that friend, it's a
That's
problem.
the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Introduction.
Yeah. I agree with all of y'all. Honestly, me personally, I guess for me, the older I am, and too, I'm a man, so I view things a little different. And I'm not a man who's insecure. Now, one thing I will say that there are a lot of men who are very insecure about their spots, and we just gonna call it what it is. Me personally, I've never been a man that's insecure. I am a believer, and this might go with some people here, is that I feel like God made too many people on this earth for me to feel like I'm the only man that's not supposed to talk to. You know what I'm saying? It's too many people out there. And then too, I understand energy. I understand that sometimes a person can talk to somebody else a certain type of way compared to how they can talk to me.
Mhm.
And I feel like if that's your outlet and you feel like that's your friend, that's what you can do, cool, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But like we said before, that all comes to you just being honest about the situation, you being transparent about the situation, there's no secrets.
Yeah.
Like what me and one of the sisters was talking about earlier, like, okay, well, why come every time I come around, y'all can't talk, or when they around, it's like they uncomfortable around me. Then I'm gonna start questioning what's going on. Because let me tell you, man, especially as a man, you can tell when your significant other is cheating. If you're really paying attention to your significant other, you can tell when they're cheating. I'm pretty sure women can, because women are more intuitive in situations like that. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you have a sixth sense.
Yeah.
You forget about that sixth sense. You forget about it. You think it's just seeing, taste, hearing, and fit. No.
Yeah.
You got that intuition.
Yeah.
But we just forget about it.
No, you don't forget.
We don't forget, but
sometimes you don't want to see the
We're just
intuition.
being naive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Purposely though.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And the thing, even with intuition, everybody has it. The thing is, especially because we come from a man and a woman, so that's when it comes to balancing your feminine and your masculine energy, because we all have both. Yeah, a lot of men don't like to talk about I'm a masculine man. No, you come from a woman, so you're gonna have both energies. You just have to learn how to navigate them. And when it comes to intuition, we definitely have intuition. We just have to be smart enough to pay attention to our intuition. But you can definitely tell when a person is like on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? But I've never been the type, man. If that's your little homeboy, that's your homeboy. But your homeboy can't be calling me at no 2 o'clock in the morning, unless it's a life or death situation. and hey, I need your help. You the last person I can call. I need this, but oh, he just calling me talking on the phone.
Yeah, just like I ran into a male friend the other day, and his significant other was with him. So I acknowledged her. I made eye contact with her, and it's not like the I'm scared thing. It's just a mutual respect. Like I'm not trying to be funny about the situation because some females don't like you, but when you have a significant other around, they like tend to try to be funny. So
Yeah.
I was, it was just like letting her be known, like I see you, I acknowledge you, I respect you and what y'all got going on. So even though we initiated this conversation, I'm bringing you in.
As you should.
Yeah, as to, respect.
Yeah, as you should. I always felt like if you see me with somebody, and I don't care if you talk, if you decide you're gonna speak to me, you should speak to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would do the same thing. I would speak to both of y'all. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want it to be no misunderstanding. Now, when you just only speak to me, I'm gonna feel some type of way, like what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like is there some type of resentment you guys get?
You need to straighten it. Like no.
Yeah, you need to straighten that. And I think that's what a lot of women. We've had a conversation before. We had women on the show, and they talk about a lot of times, especially women of color, get this whole man, black woman label. Mm-hmm. And me personally, and I've had on my discussion on my show, like I understand it. I understand why women feel the way they feel. I understand why women feel like they have to be overly aggressive sometimes. I get it. I come from a family who mostly consists of women. Really, I learned how to play the game through them. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? So, because women slick, boy, let me tell you, boy, them goddamn, look, women slick, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I get it, and for me personally, I just kind of feel like we have to all get into situations where we feel like we can be transparent with the person we talk to from jump. Give them the ultimatum to the alternative to feel like, well, I'm going to accept this situation, or I'm not going to accept this situation. You know what I'm saying? Listen, because a lot of people don't accept it.
Not necessarily ultimatum, but you know what I'm saying? Give them a choice. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This is what I got going on. And you could choose to either be here or not be here, because a lot of people, that's where a lot of people mess up, where you do something and you try to be secretive about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you lay it all out on the table, 9 times out of 10, they may say, okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning stages, though, aren't we all cool with everything?
That's
because we want to be with the person.
I mean, I really want to be with that person, but you don't care enough about that
because
person.
Because you want to be with them, so you want to be around them in their presence. You want to accept. You want to, you feeling the dude, and he might have, a smoking habit, or he might have hoes. I can say that.
Yeah.
He might have hoes. He might have, whatever that flaw is. But you no, it's cool. I can get past it or whatever. But then 6 months down to a year, it's oh, no, this is a problem.
Right. But see, I think that's what comes with growth. Because even though when you are cool with it in the beginning, so I just met you. So, okay, you might give her a little friendly hug, and I'm all right with you giving her a friendly hug because we knew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just getting to know each other. But when we become more committed to one another, you should want to respect me more. To where you're not giving that so much of a friendly hug. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I have a significant other who I'm committed to. And I know she's not going to like that because, respect my mind. That's when it comes with having friends. You know what I'm saying? So if you having friends with the opposite sex, that's when your woman become insecure, when you're not respecting her mind, or your man become insecure.
Yeah.
Now you're not respecting me. You ain't respecting my thought process. So if you gone at night and I call your phone and you don't answer, oh, I was doing this. But why you couldn't answer your phone while you was doing it? Now you ain't respecting my thought process.
Or you just pick up the phone and say, hey, look, I'm here. I can't talk right now. I'm going to hit you up later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I'll be at home in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But that's what a lot of people fell short at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So respect everything. If you, man, I know really going to be thinking like this. Let me go ahead
and communication is definitely is key. And like you said, if you already know how my mind is wandering and stuff, don't let my mind wander.
Right. So let me ask y'all this. Have y'all ever been friends with somebody and y'all just friends? Or do y'all feel like it is possible to be friends with somebody of the opposite sex while you're in a relationship and not want to have sex with the person that you're friends with?
Define a friend.
Ooh.
Well, because
That's right. No, I'm with you on that.
define, we got, you know, like,
That's right.
I graduated 10 years ago, right? I haven't seen somebody in like years. He got a girlfriend, I got a man. Out of nowhere, hey Lisa, what's up? You know, give me a hug. But I'm thinking in my head, like, oh my God, like I haven't done the proper introductions yet.
Yeah.
I haven't done the proper introductions yet. I don't know your girlfriend name. She don't know my name. So now we both got both these parties looking at us crazy and nothing's ever happened. Literally just acquaintances from high school. But now I gotta run down the whole explanation and stuff like that. And then you got your work friends. Not work husbands and wives.
I'm about to tell you.
Not work husbands and wives. Just your work friends.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what's a friend? Like, can it just be somebody y'all communicate based off of the subject of how you met, whether it was high school work, networking, you know, like whatever. I go to college now, so school, like, or is it like, or do you invite them to like your home parties, or do you write them? Like, what's a friend?
I get it. See, me personally, I don't invite everybody to my house. I feel like that is a very intimate thing. And you got some people who invite anybody to their house. I've been big, and I've told people that I've hung around, like, look, I ain't trying to run your life, but you shouldn't have people in your bedroom. You shouldn't have people sitting on your bed. Like, let me tell you something, man. The church taught us this in different forms, but people really do leave different type of energies in your space sometimes. You have to be very mindful of that, and to let that go into your bedroom, that's a big thing. You can wonder why you can't sleep at night. Yeah, because you got this fucking pedophile that slipped, that is sat on your bed. Now you got the energy on your bed. That happens. You know what I'm saying? For real. So you have to be very mindful on that, about that. So you're right. People do have different definitions of friends. I do personally. A lot of people feel like they know me. I'm telling you straight up, they don't.
Right.
Because I've been hanging around the same people for years, and it's just a handful of people that I hang around. And I'll get the title a lot of times as funny acting. And I'm cool with that. Because I'm just very serious about the type of people I let around me. Because I know how people move, and I know how people work. And when you know that, then that helps you also monitor, I don't want no fuck shit around me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to put certain people around you in different categories. Me personally, I feel like, okay, so let me ask you this then. If the person that you're talking to is friends with somebody they've had sexual relationships at least once with.
No.
We already answered that question.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to your original question when you said, do
Yeah.
you think you can have friends that you are not attracted to, or that you
Yeah.
can? I'm a whole single woman.
Yeah.
And I have a friend now that and he's a guy. I have no attraction to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just friends.
Right.
And I'm single.
Right.
So I honestly feel like you can have a friend and be in a relationship. And I just met dude, you know what I'm saying? But it's also a matter of insecurities. You know what I'm saying? How secure you make your partner feel. You know what I'm saying? Within, and there's a lot of people like, oh no, I know a man or a man. I'll probably say,
I mean, men do
just
think
your
differently.
friend. They want more. He
Not
want
all.
more.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if you have a friend, if you just meet her and y'all are friends, and she is in it for the wrong reason, and you are pure. If she come and say, okay, and cross you, it's your job to put her in her place. And now y'all are no longer friends.
Don't give them no second
You know what I'm saying?
chances.
You ain't my friend no more, because you
Yeah.
want more than what my woman is going to tolerate. Not me, my person. So I feel like you can. It's just a matter of you and your woman being on the same page and the respect level that you have for your other person.
Right. I get that. What about
Bouncing
you?
off of that, I mean, it's just, there's no like black and white paper for it. You just have to, it's a combination of trust between you and your partner. Trust. Boundaries.
Yeah.
So obviously the friend in question isn't gonna try you in front of your partner. You got some people brave, but they're not gonna try you in front of your partner. So that's when trust bounce back and you like, okay, I trust my partner to make the right decision when I'm not around.
Exactly.
Because I know how a man thinks and I know how a woman thinks. You know what I'm saying? So as from the man's perspective, he's like, I know how these dudes think. Like you say, you're unattracted to him. He's unattracted to you. So to him, that means you look like, oh my God, this is the flyest woman I've been around. I'm in love with her, but she said not yet. Right. And remember how I told you, we accept boundaries or questionable things because we want to be around somebody. So even though you set that boundary, we just friends, he just wants your presence. So he's like going along with it, like, yeah, I'll be your friend because I want to be in your presence. I'm willing to accept that. But as time goes on, now you done found your new man, and he's like, man, I gotta go ahead and shoot my shot because I might lose it forever to this dude. So, you know,
that's when you put him in your place and like, no.
Exactly. But not everybody's like that, and because everybody's not like that, that's where trust issues fall.
Exactly.
I agree. What about you?
I don't know. I feel like that even with trust, I feel like sometimes with like say having histories and things like that, maybe you've gotten past it and maybe you're trying to work on trust or something like that, and then boom, something happens and you thinking like, dang, maybe I thought I was gonna be able to trust this person, and you can't. It turns out you can't trust them, and then they want to cry and blow that facade like, I'm just so sorry, I didn't mean it. Because they didn't really do it. I've seen some crocodile tears in my day. Like,
can I about that? Okay, I'm gonna let you. You still talking? I want to put you up as a man. I'm gonna speak as a man. I'm a man here. I'm a firm believer, and this is a little off topic, but it's okay because it's my shit. You know what I'm saying? But no, for real though. As a man, I will say this: we can have interactions, even physically, with someone else, and it be nothing.
See.
And so I think we do be sorry.
Yeah. Men can,
and
women not
can.
Women. And a lot of my queens are probably gonna hate me for this, but I'm sorry, it's just true. Women, when we cheat, is for revenge, is for because we're out. It's personal. It's because we done fell out of love, but we don't want to hurt them, so we go out cheating. We do have back. You know, like there's some sort of conscience with us when we cheat for whatever reason we cheat on them for. But men literally can just go out, boom, 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 boom.
That's the truth. As a man,
and it hurts. But
that's
how men think.
But then you gotta look. And that's when you get into the history of monogamy. Monogamy, especially for our culture, monogamy was not a thing about culture for real until we was introduced to European culture. And so, of course, as we even get into things when it comes to do with slavery or anything, period, when something is traumatic has happened to you over and over again, it becomes part of your DNA. So if your family or people around you practice certain things over and over again, then it becomes a part of your lifestyle as well. So when we see men that do stuff like this, it's not because they have a problem. It's because this is just a part of his DNA. And now we live in a culture to where it's not accepted in the culture. And then now people looking at it like, what the hell are you doing? Let's ride with such then you. For a lot of men, now some men cool with lying, some men like to lie. Yeah. You have some men who will tell you straight up. I just shared a post about this. You ain't no player until you be able to tell the truth about what you're doing and still get what you want.
And keep doing it.
And that's why I've always been that way. I learned that from my daddy. I've always been that way because my daddy is a player. You feel me? It's like my daddy is a player. He been married one time. My dad said that's it for him. I had that experience. I ain't got to do it no more. Right. But I feel like with me, if I'm gonna tell you what's up from jump, that gives you the opportunity to accept it or not accept it, and you move how you want to move from it. Now, one thing I do know about a lot of women be wanting to move how they want to move. We live in a society now where women are more free to be able to be vocal about how they want to move, and a lot of men are accepting it because it fits what they got going on. And I think that's that's the big clash with a lot of us is that it's just like people be lying. You know what I'm saying?
If you stop lying.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, you don't have to lie.
or at least not so much, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not perfect, but you know,
9 times out of 10, they gonna go with you anyway.
That's my thing. 9 times out of 10, they gonna give you what
They
you want
gonna go
regardless.
with you
And for
anyway.
real, a motherfucker who on their stuff for real gonna be like, you know what? I want to fuck with you even more because you told me the truth.
Exactly. They gonna go with you
Now
anyway.
some people just feel like I ain't gonna fuck with that because I don't want what comes with it. Because you gotta understand too, if there is a partner involved, if their partner don't know what's going on, you never know their reaction. You definitely gotta be mindful because some people will kill you over their significant other now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they will.
They'll kill you over
They
that,
really
which
will.
to me is bogus. I mean, that's just bullshit. I'm not gonna kill you over stuff like that. When you got God made how many billions of people and that I've never met. That's billions of people I've never met before.
But somebody crazy like that.
Yeah, some people be crazy like that. But that shows you how small-minded individuals are. The thing is, I remember I was just talking to one of my partners and I said, man, when we was young, you remember Maya Angelou? Maya Angelou made that comment and said, when people tell you who they are, believe them. And Tyler Perry made it, and it was just funny as hell. So every time you hear it, you just bust out laughing.
Yeah.
But when you get older, you realize that is deep.
Yeah.
But most times people will show you who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, well, we gonna get into this and we willing to change it. Because you should compromise. A person don't have to compromise with nothing they already showed you from jump.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get to a point with ourselves and if you really love yourself and this is what you want, then you got to stand up for what you really want. If that's okay, well, I can't accept that, so I can't deal with you. I don't care how fine you is, how good you can fuck. I don't want to deal with you no more. That's just real. I don't want to do it because what comes behind it. But for a lot of people, that is an issue. You know what I'm saying? And I get that 100% too. Like I say all the time, man, I look at stuff from different sides. And so I think that people should really look at that from different angles. Me personally, platonic relationships, platonic friendships. I know a lot of times most women that I know are more friends. They have more male friends than female friends. For y'all personally, have that ever caused an issue in your relationship? I'm gonna start with you.
You don't want to start me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ooh, yes. Yes, Lord. I'm telling you, I had a friend, and we were friends since like 6th grade, like best friends in 6th grade, played sports together. We talked about everything. And literally, I had met a guy, and I was like, okay, maybe we can rendezvous, be friends. Maybe we'll see where it goes. Then later down the line, things started to get serious. But before it got serious, I already told him about my friend. That way, I didn't want him to feel like he was in the dark or that I was trying to be sneaky. And he doesn't call me all the time. And I let him know that, hey, we've been friends forever. He knows my mom. I know his mom. I know his family. Nothing like that. The one time that he calls me, I don't answer it, but he's never called me in front of the guy before, but he already knows about him. So he calls, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm thinking nothing of it, and I just scroll out, and then he looks at me, and I'm just like, what? And he was like, so who is this? And I was like, this is my friend that I've already introduced you to and told you about. And he goes to say, well, how do I know that y'all not fucking or y'all ain't got no secret stuff going on behind my back, blah, blah, blah. But it's really them demons getting to him because that's normally what it is because that's normally how it goes. So then we got into a big old argument about it, and I was like, okay, if you don't believe me, I'll call him. I'll put it on speakerphone. You want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. So I go to call the guy, and I put him on speakerphone. I'm like, hey, can you just go ahead and tell everyone who you are to me for the class? And I put him on speakerphone, and he's like, yeah, we're best friends. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and I know her mom. All types of stuff. He was like, well, how do I know? It sounds like y'all probably planned it before y'all got on the phone. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So I have a question. You said that you didn't answer the phone?
Yeah, no.
So why?
Because we were watching videos on my phone already.
Okay, gotcha.
And we were in the middle of it, and I just scrolled it up because we were still watching it. So I was just like, okay.
Because you were just doing y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really became a big
thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about you?
My male friends are either gay or in a relationship.
Okay.
And that's it.
Do you have to keep it that way though for?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Well, with me, I was married forever, so I'm divorced now. So I don't have any stories. But
Oh, okay.
Let's see what happens.
Well, they say you're a good one.
and honestly, I am, because I didn't need that. You know, I got married young. I divorced just a month ago.
Are you still young? It's my stepsister. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But so I don't have no story to say as far as like I have, because I
You're
don't.
just starting over.
Yeah. And so, for you, especially going through, because have any of y'all went through a divorce?
No.
Yeah, me either.
I was
So-
married 20 years.
Yeah, so what you getting out there now,
Okay.
at your age now compared to 20 years ago, what is the difference?
What? There ain't no difference.
Really? Okay.
Men are men. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's just like, honestly, and I'm putting all my business on them. It's just like I'm in high school again.
Oh, wow.
Men are men. And it's just like we were saying earlier. It's a matter of what you want to accept, what you want to deal with, because they all bring something.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question? I already know that.
But go ahead.
I already know the answer to it because it's a statistic.
Mm-hmm.
Who ended the marriage? Like, who filed for divorce?
You already know who filed for that. But if I must say on the radio, me.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's a statistic.
Because
Majority of women in marriages.
your husband is not going to leave his wife.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like it goes back to the biological factor. They want to, if we're going to like OG traditions, right? They want to biologically protect us, provide for us, but in their nature, in a man's nature, they cheat.
Yeah, they want it. I'm the man. I pay the cost to be the boss. As long as I provide, you shouldn't even have to worry about nothing else. So think about nothing else, which is not true.
Yeah.
Especially in these days, because women work just like men work.
True.
Society's changed. If we would have been back where the only jobs we could have is typewriters in office, or no job at all with no reading background, no schooling background. We got 8 kids. Grandma's stuck.
Dependent.
Yeah, grandma's stuck. Your man out there cheating. It ain't nothing you can do about it.
That's true, man.
Because I done sat up now. He pay all the bills in this big old 5-bedroom house, and I done sat up and had 16 kids. And I'm 40-something years old. You can't.
And I kid y'all not.
You can't stop
My
that.
grandmama used to always tell me, and I lived for a long time. She was like, "Oh, he hurt you, Rita. Get away, hurt him in his pocket." and listen, my ex, he knows. He like, okay, well, Rita, I already know if I make her mad, all I'm gonna do is go take her shopping. So it's always like, and he know like what your grandmama said. But I had to stop.
Yeah, that Band-Aid
because it's like, no, I ain't got time for that no more.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
There's a lot of things that come with that when it comes to stepping out. Especially when it comes to sex, period. Sex is very sacred. Sex is very not only physical, but sex is also spiritual. And people don't know like the spiritual battles that you bring back when you come with a partner who, especially if you out there having sex with somebody who's spiritually unstable, and now you're bringing it back to your household. You wonder why all this bullshit is going on with them. Y'all, it's because look at who you're sleeping with, or look at what you're sleeping with. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it is important to have conversations and be open. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people now, back in the day, people didn't talk about their divorce. People didn't talk about their divorce, and it wasn't, like you said before, grandma's back in the day. My great grandma had 14 kids. You know what I'm saying? One of them. But even my great grandmother who just passed away, she had 5, but she never knew how to drive because she was dependent on my granddaddy.
Right.
And, so even my great grandmother who had all the kids, she didn't know how to drive because she was dependent on my granddaddy.
Right.
That's who she depended on all the time.
And was your grandmother in the church?
She was in the church.
In the church, I mean, in society back then in general, but in the church especially, you couldn't get a divorce.
No.
They were ready to kick you out of the church, like.
Well, they was going to try to give you a bunch of reasons to convince you to stay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And me personally, now being the age I am, and like I said, being able to look at a situation from both sides, I understand it. But at the same time, we have to start checking on people's mental state, whether you male
Well,
or
one
female.
reason why for divorce is infidelity.
Infidelity, that's true.
So,
And if you're in the military and you get caught with that shit,
Oh, I knew what it
man.
was. I knew what it was because, like I said, statistically, I mean, there was a whole Facebook thread about it 24 hours ago. They listed a thread of all the celebrities within the past 10 to 12 months that just got a divorce, and I want to say probably 9 out of 10, if not all 10, were by the women. Tia Mowry, Dr. Dre and his wife.
oh wow.
It was not Tim Tebow. Was there a football player? It was, I don't know if it was Tim Tebow. It was somebody. There's a whole thread of it. But most of them are women. Majority is infidelity, I'm sure, because they're dating high value men. And we're just in a society now where we're like, yes, queen, get a divorce, you know. So they did.
Yeah.
Well, I can honestly say, I mean, anything, or you're gonna deal with something. You know what I'm saying? It's life. It's all in a matter of what you want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to him, unless you're gonna be by yourself,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you're gonna deal with something. But it's just a matter of what you want to deal with,
right,
of who you feel like that person is worth going through this with. You know, now I ain't saying I would turn back if I had to turn back, because I can. I could turn right on back around if I wanted to. But you know, you're gonna deal with something.
Yeah.
And that's just what I learned in this short little time of dating.
And I don't mean to go off topic.
No, you good.
And I've never been married. I just look at statistics and you're married. You were married. But oh goodness, what was I going with this? Marriage. I mean, I don't want to say it's love, but like you said, it's work. It's work. It's a duty. I don't want to use the term contract, but I mean, in some cases, it's a contract.
I tell people all the time.
But you know,
it can be a business, but I mean, it's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? But you and that person has to be able to communicate. You know, we don't get off me, but if you want to talk.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I said, I've never been married, so this is.
It is a commitment because it's a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you signing a legal document to be with this person, and you gotta legally get out of that by signing another piece of paper,
a more expensive piece of paper. I was told
it is because it was.
They like, are you sure you want to do this?
Exactly. So, but yeah, it's a piece. Both ends is a piece of paper. So it is a commitment. It is what I'm trying to say, Jen. It's a legal document.
Yeah, right.
Basically, that you are signing to be with this person. And I tell myself, even before I got married, I was like, when I got married, we was already living together. I was already a wife, you know, basically. And when they were like, well, how does it feel, Rita? I'm just like, it's just legal now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
for real.
At that point, it was just legal. You know,
by
even
the
when
courts.
by choice.
Through the courts.
Through the courts.
Yeah,
because we was already there, living
Yeah.
together, kids, doing wifey things. I'm not communicating with nobody else.
Right.
So we already living in a marriage. Supposedly.
Yeah.
You know, so when you take that step to get married, now you just legalizing it. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't bitter. I do still believe in marriage. I still want to be married. I'm still a wife.
Yeah.
But I just haven't met my person.
Right. So let me ask you this. When it comes to that, do you feel that sometimes while women are left disappointed, a lot of times it's because they give too much and in stage that should just be focused on a relationship, And then so when they get into a marriage, they already gave their all before they got to that level. Do you feel like people should just slow down and appreciate that it's levels to it?
I wouldn't even say disappointment, because I'm not even disappointed. Because like right now, me and my exes, we still communicate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I just talked to him the other day. I'm not mad at him.
Yeah.
You know, actually I still love him. You know what I'm saying? I love him. Like we are. I'm not in love with him, but that's my family.
Right.
I don't want to see him hurt.
Right.
I ain't gonna let you know to do nothing to him.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my people, but we just not romantically there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not even no regret. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna, cause he's a good person. He's, when I say provider, he's that. But I don't know. I got married young. I got with him when I was 20. I got married at 25. You know, so I was with him half my life.
Yeah.
So I can't say, oh well, slow down a little bit. I feel like if you are 21 and you are 25,
you still look 25.
Yeah.
You can't tell me.
You know, live your life. Don't jump into a marriage, because if I could do it all over again, I won't say that I will not marry him, but I would say I would take my time and live a little bit.
I tell people all the time, when you're in your 20s, you know, a lot of times because of the culture that we live in, they try to rush you to marry. When you're in your 20s, date.
Yeah.
Because at the time, you're still trying to figure out who you are. At this time now, when you're in your 20s, you are more, you're open to doing more things because you are allowed to do more things now. So you still trying to figure yourself out. You don't know who you want to be, or who you are yourself for real. So I encourage people all the time, now me being 31, like, man, date and don't feel bad about it.
Everybody in this room grew up in the traditional, how you say, European culture way. I mean, we still have people who are walking this earth that got married at 14 and 15. So when you got married at 25, that probably seems super old
to them.
To them.
Right.
And so now we're telling, because I'm 12 years older than my sister, so I'm telling her, you know, like you said, slow down, date, take your time, you know what I'm saying? But we grew up in that generation where like we gotta get married before we're 30, you know, because our clock is ticking. And for men, dating in your 20s sounds amazing. But for women, it's a totally different clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, and once again, my queens are probably gonna hate me for this, but regardless of what social media says, like just biologically, women don't age the same way men do.
What you mean by that?
Like when a man turns 35, typically like that's when he's at his prime, his peak. Like he typically has the income or career that he's going to have set for his life.
That's true.
He's you know, got his facial hair going, he's popping, he's feeling himself. He looks something about it. He's 35.
Man, fine.
Yeah.
But women, we're 35. We may or may not have had a few kids in that time frame. We're more established too. However, a man that's looking to pursue us or marry us is not going to go for the 34-year-old entrepreneur with 2-3 kids. He's going to go for the 21-year-old who's fresh off the block, who doesn't talk back, who's more obedient and submissive, because the 34-year-old done been through some shit. And so she not putting up with the shit that Miss 20-year-old over here is going with.
Right.
So it's not that we're not queens, and it's not that we not, but dating gets harder for women. So although it's cool to say, yeah, let's date and live in our 20s, it's just unrealistic for women to do that and successfully have a higher marriage rate than it is for men to have. Men can get married at 35, 40, 45 and be of high value. But women, like the more we get older, the less we settle, right? So when you're 20, you cool with a dude making 50K a year, 100K a year, $1 million a year. But as you get older, you're like, okay, this is the type of value man I want, but there's only a limited of them and a lot of us. So it's like, it's different for men and women.
I agree with her to a certain extent, because even with a man, like they done been through at 35, 40 plus. They done been through, and it's men that, I mean, you may say, okay, a man fine when he's 35. A woman is fine. She know her body.
Yeah.
She know how to basically put on clothes to make her look better. You know what I'm saying? She's different.
Yeah.
She's 30 plus.
Yeah.
So I mean, even though we may come like, I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah.
But also a man that's 35, he may be like, oh, I ain't gonna say 35, I'm gonna say 45.
Okay.
He ain't dealing with certain things either, in his life. In today's day, women got it going on just like men got it going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The point that you just made, I never looked at it in depth like that. You really made valid points.
I'm sorry, I do research and statistics.
That's cool. That's the point of this show. It's not to just point the finger. It's the point of us coming to a middle ground to let us know, like, we got to do some work with each other. Let me meet you halfway. So that was a very, very, very good point that you made, because I never looked at it like that. You know what I'm saying? But I get it, and I agree with everything that you said from the observations of me observing the women around me. And you are very right about that. It's different for a man, especially with a woman's body. It's easier for a man to get in shape than it is for a woman who has children. You know what I'm saying? It's different for a man, especially now, because our definition of beauty has been ostracized by social media. And the media, we don't look at women for natural beauty no more. And when women show us their natural beauty, we find something wrong with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it 100%, and that encourages women even more. Now you see a lot of women going to get their bodies done. You see a lot of, and then you have men who go get their bodies done. Like, just to be real, look, man, it's something that I just found out. I heard that they have dick enhancements.
It's called penile enlargement.
Yeah.
It's 2022.
You get fake meats. Meat, well, I ain't gonna say fake meats, but meat implants. You know what I'm saying?
Meat implants.
Meat implants. You know what I'm saying? So just to see that now we live in that era to without everybody, but we've been living in that era for a long time, because even when I had a conversation about, we go back into Madam C.J. Walker. Madam C.J. Walker, for a lot of people, was a pillar in the community, and she made us go by all types of beauty enhancements for women. But then when you look at it, she made women go by beauty enhancements to look more like white women. So that even shows, even during that time, 100 years ago, that people were still influenced by what society felt like beauty was. And living in the future, and we all are affected by European culture. And living in the societies that we live in that define beauty with, we don't even appreciate the women around us that look like us. And I like, me and you had a little conversation before about you being of different ethnicities. For one thing, to be from Pensacola is to be from different ethnicities. Let's be us personally. We ain't fully just African descendant. We got Native American in us. A lot of, I know Black people who have Asian in them, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we have to appreciate that. And at the same time, though, it also makes form what beauty is, because then we can go back. My grandmama was always the type growing up. My sister, she made sure my sister always bought black dolls for my sister. I never understood until I got older, when you look at a lot of kids, they don't even go to black dolls. Because they go to what society has made beauty look like, which is white beauty.
Because there's no reason we're in 2022 and people are arguing over who's playing Ariel in a Disney movie.
Come on now.
That don't make no sense. This is 2022. And the crazy thing is, she's not even of darker complexion. Like, let's be honest. They didn't go out and get, they found somebody that was, kind of borderline, fair skin, And she's a wonderful actress, and I feel like she suits this role perfectly. She
Right.
lives that. If y'all follow Holly Bailey, she lives like that Disney persona in real life. Her
Yeah.
sister is the complete opposite. Chloe,
Right.
that's the sneaky one right there. But Holly, Haley, she really lives that life. So I felt like she was perfect for that role, but it really shouldn't have been
An
as
issue.
deep of a issue. Like it
Right.
shouldn't have dragged on for so long.
Dude, you gotta look at the facts of it. For one thing, she was in the Caribbean. When you think of Caribbean, you do not think of light skinned folk. Let's be real. For one, two, how many people who are white that you know with the name Erica?
No.
Exactly. So basically, they find a woman who fits the image of everything, even when you get into the folklore of a mermaid, which a lot of folklore of mermaids come from the Caribbean people, come from African descendants, because even when you get into Orisha, that Yemoya represents mermaids. When you get into that, it all aligns with Black culture.
Right.
So when you find people who are not only fitting the image, but you fitting the facts of the motherfucking image, now it's a damn problem. But when you had Queen Elizabeth playing, when you had Liz Taylor playing Cleopatra. Cleopatra was not a white woman.
There was a lot of like old Bible Testament movies that came out where they had, Caucasian people playing roles that we know should just, but see, they've been doing that since slavery times. Like when movies started coming out, if they wanted a person of color, they just colored themselves because they didn't want to hire and have a black person profit off of it. They would rather blackface, tan face, chink face, whatever, before they hire somebody to let them get that profit.
That's true. That's true. I was just looking at I had wanted to take a trip to India, and I was looking at Airbnbs and all kind of stuff there, right? And I started looking at Black culture because anywhere I go, I try to find what Black culture can be. And it starts talking about how a large part of India was Black, and how not only did they come in through the slave trade, but they also came in willingly, just like the Americans. A lot of people think we came through slavery, but it was already Black people here before that. But in the lineup of the history, when I looked into it, man, to see so many Black people are everywhere. No matter where you go, there's gonna be Black people every fucking where. Okay.
In all countries.
Yeah, in all countries. Cultures. So who are y'all to tell us that we can't play in no movie? But then they show different movies of Indians who paint themselves Black to reenact certain things that happen in India. Instead of just going down the street and finding somebody that's Black, that's from India, to play the part. Right. But then that's when you get into us as a people, we embrace that culture so much of European culture and just not realize that we are, especially be Black American, we are diverse. And we look at other cultures, oh, I wish I was Haitian. Oh, I wish I was this. Oh, I wish I was that. You are unique as an African American. You know what I'm saying? Like, people,
I want to be foreign.
Yeah, I want to be foreign. You are foreign. To another country,
you are foreign.
You are foreign. Exactly. They don't know how to talk like us.
Right.
But nowadays, foreign is different. Like, it has a different meaning.
Yeah. Foreign is just unknown.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Kind of.
We live luxury lives. You got to think of what they call third world countries. Countries who are invaded and brought by European culture. That's why when the whole thing with the Queen came out being down, I was like, good, she should have been gone a long time ago. And people felt some type of way about it. But do you not know what she did? Like, do y'all not understand what she did to Black culture?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn that anywhere you go, man, you are unique anywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when you had our conversations, like, I feel that.
It was more not because, I don't want to take from a fully Black woman. I do want to acknowledge that I'm multicultural. My mother is Chinese and white. My dad is fully Black. Well, don't tell my grandma that. She said we're part Indian too. But
that's true.
But my 23andMe did not find that part, so I'm gonna go biologically. But I didn't want to take from a fully Black woman, and then I understand that dating as a darker complected woman and a lighter complected woman are two different things. And I didn't want to talk about when he approached me with the topic, I didn't want to offend anybody because it is a different dating world. I mean, the idea of women dating in general is, has the same roots, but in the Black community, we have this whole, light skin versus dark skin. I hate the conversation.
Colorism.
I hate the conversation. I hate bringing it up, but I acknowledge that it is a thing. And so I didn't want to be like, oh, this is how dating is for me, but that's not for the majority.
No, dudes dating for you because honestly, I'm not insecure. And I'm 41 years old. It's not a time in my life that I wanted to be lighter. And I'm gonna tell you about this story. A couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, my aunt's husband, he called me my cousin's name, Mika. And he's getting older. And my aunt said, oh, well, at least he thought you was a lighter person. I stopped her right then and was like, that ain't nothing I ever been insecure in. Not my skin tone. I love the person I am. I don't never want to be you, or nobody else.
Which is beautiful. Put the camera somewhere on her. She's beautiful, y'all.
Listen, people who know me, they know me. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't ever.
Yeah.
So
as you should.
When you come here, you speak about your experience. I ain't.
And that's my whole thing. You're definitely inclusive, but I understand why you feel the way you feel.
Yeah.
Because even for me, growing up, like you said, your grandmother was like, you mixed with something else. Me growing up, my mom's side, it was the same way. Like, my mom said, nigga, you see your hair?
My grandmother on my father's side is a beautiful, darker, chocolate complected woman. But before she got into, how they get older, they want to cut all their hair off. But before she got to that stage, it was like, you see this hair? This is Indian right here. And I'm like, grandma, or it could be just like you had good hair.
I feel like there's no such thing as bad hair.
That's another thing I'm glad that we're starting to push away from as a society, that whole good hair versus bad hair, and I love that for us.
We definitely, man. Me personally, like I said, I'm big on ancestry, and I've been finding out. When I was younger, I always heard that my great grandmother was Indian. Mom was Indian. And then I got older, I never knew that my great grandmother that just passed, that her people had Native American ancestry. Until when she passed, her family came and was like, no, your grandmama's mom was Cherokee. She was a dark skin. She had long hair. I have a picture of her sitting in my living room, and she had long hair. She was sitting on my grandma's couch. They were from Alabama. So when I started doing my history and started digging in, I started realizing how people did come from. Because you got to understand, the Native Americans, when we came here, we mingled with the Native Americans. And so even they have Native Americans over in Mexico. We have a lot of Black people in Mexico that came from Pensacola. You know what I'm saying? So when I started doing all my research, I started paying attention to the features. Oh, that's where they get the cheekbones from. That's where they get the hair texture from. That's what we get. Even when we talk, we cussing, they come from Native American culture. And so we definitely have to accept all of that comes with us and realize that you are just as unique as somebody from Haiti. You are just as unique as somebody from Cuba, Brazil. Because they feel the same way about us. We want to move to America because y'all got X, Y, Z, and people really feel like,
we're trying to get out.
We're trying to get out. And that's where you got to get into just appreciating really who we are as individuals, man.
We always think the grass is greener.
And that's not for anybody, even a lighter tone person. You know, they may want, like, okay, I'd rather have another skin tone. Everybody have their own insecurity.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'm too fair skinned.
Yes, because people bully me.
Yeah, I actually get people think I'm albino, and I have nothing against albinism people at all, but that's just not who I am.
Right.
And I remember being pregnant with my son, who's my second child, and pregnancy hormones, but I used to cry because I used to be like, oh, I hope he doesn't get my skin color because I don't want him to have to go through the judging, the talking about everybody. And you know what's crazy? It's a Southern thing.
Yeah.
It's a Southern thing because I never heard, me being multiracial, I grew up with all different types of races, so I never saw color to begin with.
Right.
But living in the South, the first time I was asked if I was albino was when I was in middle school, and I had no idea what that meant.
Right.
I had no idea what it meant, what it was. This is not my natural hair color. These are not my natural lashes. I had dirty blonde hair. I have, green hazel eyes. My body hair is pure white blonde.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see how they thought it, but if you're uneducated between albinism and just a fair-skinned person, then it comes off
with blonde hair.
Even when my first job was at City Trends on in Town and Country Plaza, my first job, and it was literally a culture shock for I would consider a large part of the community because it's dead center in the middle of town. And so it was a large, I could tell it was a big culture shock because I was 18 at the time, so a child, there's no reason these grown 30 and 40-year-old men are like, are you albino? And I used to be like, have you never left Pensacola before? And they haven't, but yeah,
or never really paid attention to an albino.
So I've been on that side of the fence. Some days I still am. I'm like, I want to be darker complected because then I wouldn't have this issue.
Because I have friends they'll make little jokes while I'll be in my room. I have a light colored wall, it's like a beige, and my friend they make little jokes ooh, you're blending in with the wall. And I'm like, okay now. And then they go to say oh, you're extra pale today. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong with y'all? Can I not
Or in school, I was too white to be around black people. I was too black for white people. So they try to put you in the society. Mind you, I was born in the 90s, so this was the early 2000s. It's cancel culture now, so it's completely different for the kids growing up. They have people that have their backs.
Right.
I didn't have nobody to cancel these motherfuckers in my class, so I didn't have a cell phone to put them on TikTok and expose them and cancel everybody. So I had to fend for myself. Right. And so they put you in this bubble, you have to choose. But it's what's being black? What's being white? You know what I'm saying? I can't just be myself and be friends with everybody. Because like I said, I'm multicultural. So I want to hang out with everybody.
As you should, though. As you should, though. You know what? I'm glad because I've actually, we got an episode coming soon about colorism. I'm going to bring you back on that, man. Because
it's a hate-love relationship that I hate having that conversation, but I acknowledge that it's a thing.
Yeah.
I think I saw you have a Facebook post, and I don't remember the exact words, but it started to die, and I got to typing, and then I erased it. And then I got to typing, and then I erased it. Because you can't change people's thought. Like you said, my experience is my experience, your experience is your experience, but unfortunately, we're not the majority. And I was looking at the majority on your comments, and I said, you know what, I'm going to just let them have it.
No, the point is to educate. We need that. We need those.
And I ain't even look at none of it. When I seen the fly, I was like, okay, she brought it.
Because I didn't look at her multiracial. I did.
I was happy to have another fellow black woman, but I get that too. Yeah. I remember I had a survey. I don't know if you knew me around this time, but I had a survey. I said, because my children's father, he's black. So I said, do y'all consider us black love or a multiracial relationship? And my comment section was like, you're mixed. I thought you were fully black and either fair skinned or fully black and albino. Yeah. And I was like, no, my mother is white and Chinese. My grandfather was European. He had blonde hair and green eyes. I had, before all this, I had blonde hair and green eyes. My son has blonde hair and brownish eyes, but he's a replica of me. And so genetics is a funny thing.
Yeah. When I looked at the picture, I thought she was a black woman. And I'm just like, okay, she's fine. Yeah. Because I have cousins that's black and they like you and with nice hair.
Yeah. You be like, I don't know.
She was black.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we come from all shades, and that's the thing, the beauty of being a black woman is that black women are able to bear any type of, abort any type of shade of a child. And so that's why for me.
So we're Asian women.
Yeah.
I know that's right. Put it on there.
No, because the Asian gene is strong, like how you were saying in Indians, indigenous and Asian genes are very, very strong.
Oh,
like,
listen, that's
it
true.
comes completely through.
I got a homeboy who you wouldn't be able to look at him and tell, and y'all around the same age, you probably know him, but he has Asian ancestry. Now you can look at his eyes and you can tell. But when you look at his skin complexion, you cannot tell because he's the same shade as me. His grandmother is the same shade as me.
Because she's a black Asian.
Exactly. But then that's when even when you go, I always tell people all the time. I used to work at the commissary when I was in high school. And you get a lot of black and Filipino, black and Asian.
Because they go overseas, they marry them and bring them back.
The best mixture to me, if you gonna do biracial. That's mixture. That's the best mixture. Because and you do, and so even with me, that's why when we had a conversation earlier, I told her I don't feel no type of way about that. Because me personally, I don't look at you like that. And me personally, I can be very opinionated a lot of times from my own personal experiences. But at the same time, if I'm speaking out of ignorance of a culture, it's up to you who experience it to tell me what's going on. Right. And I accept that. You know what I'm saying? I know that I don't know all things. And I can't speak on everybody's experiences. I can only speak on what I experienced. So if you come in like, look, this is what I'm going through X, Y, Z, I'm going to take that because that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that like, oh, as Puerto Ricans or as multiracial, this is what's going. So I got a home. My best friend is black as hell. But his daddy is Puerto Rican. His grandmother, who lives in the Bronx, speaks nothing but Spanish.
Yes, shout out to Spanish cultures too. Because they have 50 Shades as well as black and Asians too.
But it's a black culture everywhere.
Like you said,
you know what I'm saying? But it's just they are either Puerto Rican or Asian or Filipino, whatever.
For the Hispanic community, I notice it's usually like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. For Asians, it's Filipinos, and there's a few other ones. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely. But like he said earlier, it's like a lot of cultures adapted to the European thought process when it came to that. So it's like we're still all overcoming this, like, color hate, I guess, as you can say, like getting over that hump, like, that we can be all different shades.
It's just self-love.
It starts with self-love and just getting out of old
habits. Even with me, it's a lot of things that I see differently. I'm very old school and I act way older than I am because I am a firm believer that I've been here a couple times. And I hope this is the last trip for me. When I get old, I ain't trying to come back to this motherfucker. So I hope that I experience everything I'm supposed to experience because in my culture, what I believe in, reincarnation is basically you return to figure out what you were supposed to do, find your destiny in life so you can excel. And when you do get to the other side, you do what you're supposed to do. But me personally, or to pay off some type of family debt.
I got a question. So when you say reincarnation, like, because I always thought of it like, when I think about reincarnation, I'm like, hey, if I was to die, would it like jumpstart and I'd be a baby again and I'd have to go back through everything that I've already gone through? And
I won't say everything that you went through.
Right.
You'll be coming back as somebody else.
And then too, in the culture that I'm in, you can reincarnate to any type of person that's in your bloodline. So you might be black this lifetime, but you could be some kin of somebody that's European, and when you come back, you could be another.
Her mother is British.
Already my daddy is
So when I did my ancestry, when I didn't go through I went through all kinds of different stuff and spiritual stuff to do my ancestry. I found that my family, I had French, and one of my family members was sold out to slavery, and she had children with a Frenchman. And so that's why I ain't got no top lip.
When I smile, my top lip disappears, and then I'm very insecure about it.
I know that's where the white come in for me.
Something about it, I'm just like,
it's
like a white at the top and black at the bottom.
I accept it, you know what I'm saying? Because for a lot of women, it wasn't something they want to do. But for a lot of women, if you want to do it, that's cool. I feel like you're entitled to sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. And so, for me personally, though, I had a lot of people. A lot of my family also comes from African, and I have an uncle, a great uncle. Well, actually, he's my great granddad's brother, so he's my great uncle. Who I asked some questions about his mother, who was my great grandmother, and I have a picture of her. And he was like, "No, Mom, ain't never talked about her mama, but she always talked about her grandmother who raised her, who came off of a slave ship with her mother." Yeah. So that's when people are like, "Oh, we ain't from Africa." No, I got people who are still here who can tell you, no, that we came from XYZ. But I also got people who can tell you that no, Mama was an Indian and they grew up XYZ. So the thing is, with Black culture, we have to accept that we come from different paths. And especially when you're from Florida, you come from some. If we got Mexican, I found that I had Aztec in me and all kind of shit, right? And I was like, what the fuck?
It updates too. I don't know if you check yours often or not, but it does update too.
Yeah.
So the percentages will change.
What, the 23andMe?
Yeah, the 23andMe's, the ancestries, all that stuff. They'll kind of like, it won't be like a big like chunk, but it'll like kind of dabble online as they find new information, or they might get like your cousin 15 times removed saliva, because they email me and they're like, we found your cousin, and I'm like,
you will be
this
surprised.
ain't my cousin. I mean, probably.
And it's crazy because I never thought wanted to just figure out. I'm black.
Yeah. Oh, no. when you American,
Yeah,
there's no such thing as being black.
Right. So I mean, it never crossed my mind to even try to dibble and dabble.
See, I have. I'm just funny. I'm paranoid because I be like listening to like all kinds of podcasts online about like how they like steal your saliva and try to do crazy. Like,
And you do know, because you got to look at Henrietta Lacks, the story of Henrietta Lacks. When they took her stem to this day, technically Henrietta Lacks is still living because they still use all type of. They use her stem cells. So it's definitely possible. You have to be very careful with that. But at the same time, if I'm dead and gone, my spirit is set free, I don't give a fuck what you do this.
But as long as
I'm
here,
as long as I'm here, I'm gonna be real. And I get that too. I get both sides, but I'm like you. I haven't done any ancestry tests, but I do more so spiritual work, and I go through records and find out. And I go to, if you want to do your ancestry work, then go to the cemetery. Find out where your people buried at and find obituaries. They're gonna show you, oh, well, this is such and such mama. And you go to these places where these people were born. I had to go all through Alabama, all kind of places.
So you did work.
I did work, and I'm still doing work. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you do the test and you get like 90% African American, they'll still show you your roots though. Like
what part of
Africa? Countries. I think mine was like Nigerian and another one, but they'll still show you like roots, and eventually you'll be teamed up with somebody if they have their spit in the system.
I had a conversation with this guy. He was like, your skin tone is real pretty, and it's like you got an undertone of red. And I'm like, okay, well, I am undertone red. He was like, so that must mean that you have like some, and I'm like, I don't know, I ain't never thought about that, but he was like,
yeah, because your daddy mama had high cheekbones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that is one thing about Native American feature is the cheekbones.
Yes, she did.
Native Americans had high cheekbones, and the texture of their hair, you can understand who they was.
And she had really, really, really nice hair.
Yeah, and if they like cornbread, because cornbread was introduced to us from Native Americans.
She like,
I'm for real. Yeah, I do this shit for real. You feel me? I'm gonna tell y'all, I appreciate y'all. I'm definitely gonna bring y'all back on again. I appreciate y'all for checking in with us tonight. I love everybody that checked in with us tonight, man. We got a couple of events coming up. First and foremost, let me throw this out there first. We got Blackout All Black Dinner Party with all black attire, Ron Mixon Storm. We got your boy Charles Gibson from A Different Swag that's going to be hosting the event, and we got music by DJ Nico. Will be an event that's on Saturday, October 15th, 2022 at 9 to 1 p.m. at the Grotto Hall. If y'all know what the Grotto Hall is, I would tell you Sanders Beach. Hey, make sure y'all be there, man, as y'all can see. I got the information up there right now on 1000 South K Street, Pensacola, Florida, 32502. Tickets are $35, and you get dinner, and it's an open bar included with that. So you get to eat and you get to drink with that $35. And let me tell you, Ron can cook. Okay, so if y'all want to cash up for y'all tickets, y'all can also call Ron Mixon at 850-418-5890, and y'all can cash up at Vibe 49. We also, man, one thing we got coming up that's really, really good. We got our station, RWR Live Room Radio. Shout out to Nicole Dixon. We opening up our Black Community Cafe and Bookstore.
Hello.
Located on 3497 North Martin Luther King Boulevard. If y'all have ever been to the studio and have did work with me at the studio, it's basically the same building, but in the suite right behind us. Shout out to the sister, man, Nicole. She's very humble. Tonight, I don't even know if y'all even noticed who she was. She was sitting at the table with us talking. And man, Nicole, she don't like to give herself a lot of credit sometimes, but man, the stuff that she be doing, man, to be a Black woman and to be able to push this station like you pushed it, and now you're opening up a Black community cafe like Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing some big things, man. So shout out to Nicole. Make sure y'all come to the grand opening, man, on November 12th at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll definitely be up in the building. And we appreciate everybody that's checking in with us. Make sure y'all check out our sisters again tonight, man. We got, hey, man, and she bought some egg rolls for us.
And I brought y'all some egg
Hold on,
rolls.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
check out
The logo.
the logo.
Yeah, she got logo. At
Man.
first I was like, yeah, she wrote blunt. Yeah.
I get that so many times. but I
Check
knew
out
what I
the
was
logo.
doing.
I know, right?
It's an eye catcher because
It's
it
an
does
eye
make people double turn. And
Yes.
Yeah. And definitely though, I'll be catching some of her meal preps that she be doing.
Yes,
man. I
like meal
that.
preps, catering, anything regarding food.
Yes, and then my sister Sharita, man, she does the picnics. Make sure y'all check her out. Tell them again where they can find you. At.
Luxury Picnics, Sharitha Jones, Instagram,
right now.
Facebook, and I also have a business page on Instagram. It's Sharitha Itisha, and it's IT. Oh Lord, you made me say ITESHA. Itisha.
Hey, I appreciate y'all again for coming checking in with us tonight. Having to sit down. We had Ashley in the building. She didn't know she was gonna be sitting down. I know you from somewhere. I can't think where I know you from, but I've seen you before somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all for real though, man. Make sure everybody y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay committed to whatever you got going on. If you're holding on to something, let it go. Let me tell you this, man. One thing I found out, I had went through a situation back in 2013. I hated motherfucker, right? I had been to jail, lost my job. I think we was working together at the time. And I hated this motherfucker.
Hey, just left.
Okay, yeah. And I had to realize hate gives the other person control over you. And hate also causes all kinds of sicknesses, cancers in your body when you hold on to a lot of stuff. You have to learn how to, sometimes we have to go ahead and accept the apologies that we never gonna get. And that's gonna be okay. You gotta move on because people gonna be people. Sometimes when people do you wrong, it ain't you. We be condemning ourselves, we be fighting ourselves, like what's wrong with me? It ain't you. Sometimes it's the other person. We have to accept the fact that, you know what, you just fucked up. And I gotta go on about my business. So one thing I push for everybody, man, learn how to forgive. Learn how to forgive when it's hard. Learn how to forgive not for just the other person, but learn it ain't about the other person. It's about you and where you're trying to go in yourself. Let that shit go. There's plenty of other people out here that you can make new experiences with. And there's plenty of other people out here who will accept you for who you are. Let that shit go. That's what I want to say, man. I love y'all. Make sure y'all check into the G Spot Podcast each and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. Next week, man, we got the Israelites coming back. So make sure y'all check that out. And then after that, we got my boy Mash Mario coming into the building again. And after that, man, we got the actors. We got some good things coming up. I ain't gonna tell you everything we got going on. Y'all make sure y'all share and make sure y'all follow the G Spot Podcast. Make sure y'all follow the Real Women Radio RWR Live 365 page. Make sure y'all also download the RWR Live 365 app. And make sure y'all follow these women, man. It's time to put our dollars back into our own communities.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I love y'all, man, and everybody be safe.